My last dream unbalanced me, struck me dumb with terror and degraded what little of my mental health remained. Perhaps it triggered the same in you. Anyway, it was far too real, too easily recalled, and the experience constantly revived itself if ever I dared to close my eyes. A grim, paralyzing fear clung to me as the scene played and replayed like a DVD looped on a scratched track. I confess now that I've typed and retyped these words a dozen times with shaking fingers. Never could I find just the right words to describe my feelings on, never mind. I'll give up on good prose and deliver it to you as best I can. Whenever I tried to sleep, my impish id ceaselessly dispatched sensations of teeth, jagged in shape, biting and breaking through my skin. I kept my covers down, folded to my knees, in a feeble attempt to reassure myself that I was not being made a meal of. That lie always failed, for I knew too much to deceive myself. Even if in the here and now, my own home, my body showed no signs of trauma, and it happened to my mind. Just as when that collision of worlds returned my father, the effects of this, too, must sooner or later materialize. The nightmare's pinching, grasping effects left red marks on my every behavior. I could not leave my room, dared not use the phone, nor would I speak of it to anyone. Every variety of foul emotion converged and mixed within me, overthrowing all reason and dismantling every happiness. Although I fought to rest through the nights, my slothful movements by day were detected by my wife and father. Even my son, at his tender age, seemed aware of my rotten moods and the deep fear which crawled over my soul like silverfish. The truth of it was, the damage had ravaged my true self within, that I am part of us all, without which we cease to exist. I felt like an old man's journal, and the grog-rung had chewed not my cover, nor the binding, but had licked the ink from some of the pages, erasing a little, leaving less behind than was there before. The persistent illusion in this world of my intactness only shrouded the deletions from the content within. An irrepressibly firm belief pronounced that I was not just imagining something while I slumbered. Oh, no, these were not simulations, not my mind idling while I slept. The place was dangerous. Another encounter like that would surely leave me a sobbing psychopath. Surely my sanity could not survive another bout by those sea-sculpted psychotic monsters. I had to be rid of it, all of it. Now, you may think it strange that I did not fully understand this at the time, but I'm putting this tale to you in order, into a neat timeline with the facts already strained out of the misrule and multifarious branches of real life. I didn't have it so easy. Although I had seen the faces, seen Clyde, and had witnessed the closed tree's many tricks, it still seemed a game to me then. But experiencing death there, feeling the blood, smelling wet organs, and facing the terror of edibility smothered me with a cosmic fear. I bemoaned that my notion of dreams was flawed, that it was foolish to ever draw a line between the abstract and our little blue globe. It was a false boundary, two sides of a coin. After all, these were dreams taking place in reality and simultaneously reality occurring within dreams. They leak. Yes, Clyde had said that. There was leakage from one to the other from the very beginning, starting with information. It dripped into my life, then became more of a trickle, a drizzle. Reality had been incrementally altered and was changing still. If you don't believe this, you should. You can confirm it. I implore you to do so. Tonight, when you're ready to go to bed, instead, stretch out on your couch. After every light bulb has been unpowered, lay back for a while and listen. Unclench your fists, close your eyes, and render your breathing deep and unhurried. After a time, you'll begin to hear those nearly muted sounds which permeate the world around us. Crickets, perhaps. Ice cracking in the freezer. The occasional car passing by. But wait longer. Lay still into the dread hours, the dark nocturnal. 1, perhaps 2 past midnight. Your heightened ears reach, now supersensible. Will begin to detect those baffling phonetics of which logic cannot tell. You'll hear a low, moody silence, stirrings in the basement, thumps, groans, and hollow vibrations that seem to originate as much from within you as from without. That is the universe changing, bending under the weight of some unseen noumenal design. Do you know that word? Noumenal? Don't fucking lie to me. I define the very ribs under the skin of our so-called sensible world, born in the sleeping psionic minds of millions. Wakeless dream feeders coaxing, igniting subatomic supernova. Imperceptible booms whose shock waves expand discreetly from the quantum scale through the full spectrum of size to finally reach us. The only question that remains is who guides the millions, and is it altered for you or against you? You should know, and I feel a bit guilty for not mentioning it earlier, that some people, having reached this part of the brochure, have reported experiencing terrible nightmares, and some even spectral attacks. This other realm of dreams is no fabrication, but a physical place no map could bring us to. Perhaps our brains are ambidextrous. After all, they had one hand in one place and one in the other, and no idea which hand was right. And perhaps Jogar had been correct in giving me that mask, and I was two-faced. Fairgain and the others could remember nothing of where they came from, while I could. But I had told them nothing. Yet, was this the way it began with them? Would I, too, lose all my past and become trapped in Harkin along with them? I just didn't know. The Grogrung had escaped and penetrated our world in the guise of squirrels. I had beaten them back once, but I had prevailed only by a simpleton's bravery. What if the big ones come here? I had been arrogant and foolish to assume that this travel was safe. I knew none of the rules and was tampering with something far larger than I could ever have imagined. I do not wish to talk to you of small things, my friend. Therefore, I shall pass over some of the time that occurred after that dream, as the details of it add little to the story. But I will mention that I stopped. I stopped meditating. I stopped daydreaming. And if ever the thoughts of Harkin came into my head, I was quick to chase them out. In time, I ceased to dream at night, or at least I could not remember doing so. Even during the occasional wild show, the audience was devoid of those supernatural, amorphous happenings that I had experienced so often before. As time passed, I felt more secure, safer in the belief that whatever portal had been opened was tightly closed again. Denial can be a fantastic salve when used effectively. I merely refocused on my personal life, which proved a viable distraction. Mundane habits and the common trials of running a business slowly replaced my fears until I could almost pretend that it had all just been in my head. There was only one problem. At first, it started small. Then it grew a little each and every day. After a year, the trend could no longer be denied. It was indifference. Providence was no longer my secret ally. Space and time were not biased towards me as they had been before. Luck, chance, happenstance no longer brought me gifts. Taking gambles became increasingly unwise. I was safe, but I was also on my own.